This video is to help you guys replace the front shaft and bearing on Roadranger transmissions. As you know, sometimes these can be difficult. Usually you just take this snap ring off. If you have a problem with that snap ring, just heat it up with a torch and it'll come out. And usually you can just pry this bearing out, and that's where the problem begins. If this bearing does not come out, you can try apply some heat to it, and that might help you. If not, there is a tool available that will grip this outer snap ring and you can pull the shaft off, but you will need to remove the bell housing. If you don't want to do that, you might want to make your own tool. Something like this. You can slide this over. And this also aids in heating this race up without heating up the shaft. This is actually a slide hammer. What you would have to do is weld it onto the bearing inner race here and slide hammer it out. You may need to apply more heat to this race if the bearing is really stuck, and slide hammer it out. This is just made from a bunch of scrap pieces of metal we had lying around. And then once you get the bearing off, you're going to work this other snap ring out and pull the shaft out. Well, there's a spacer too. I don't have the spacer with me, but there's a spacer that goes on here. When you go back together, put the shaft in, put the snap ring in, put the spacer in, and your bearing goes back in. We also have this here. This is another slide hammer that will tap that bearing in real nice. It's recessed here, so when you tap that bearing on, it will slide it all the way down home, so you can get that snap ring on. This is also something we just made out of a bunch of scrap we had lying around. They also have a tool for that, but with that tool it covers the whole shaft, and you can't hold the shaft out while you tap the bearing in, which is necessary. You need to hold the shaft out to get that bearing tapped all the way in. There you have it. Simple, homemade tools. There's also a guide on the inside. Can't see it, but that fits over the shaft and aligns it. Or you can just go buy the tools. Have a good day.